Hi, my name is Kareem Fahmy, and I'm the writer of American Fast, which is part of the Colorado New Play Summit this season.
A question for Salama?
So American Fast is a play about a young Muslim woman named Katie Salama, who's a college basketball star, and what happens when she goes to March Madness and it happens to line up with Ramadan, which is the month of Muslim fasting.
Do you go by Katie or Khadija?
Up until now, it was only ever my mom that called me Khadija.
It's very rare to see the practice of Islam put on stage in a way that actually brings any depth and complexity to it.
Muslim women everywhere.
This was like just a few years after 9/11. I was seeing plays that dealt with like my community, the Middle Eastern community, Muslim community, that I thought, oh, that depiction of that community doesn't feel authentic. It was not authentic. It wasn't sort of filtered through the right lens, let's just say. And that inspired me to think, oh, you know, I want to put these characters on stage in the way that I see them.
Khadija is going to prove to the world that a Muslim woman can do anything.
The core of the play ended up being, after many, many drafts, a story of a daughter and her mother, and the way that their Muslim faith both sort of ties them together but also keeps them apart.
Show them the Katie.
Throughout all of my body of work as a writer, I'm trying to center Middle Eastern characters. At the core of it is looking at them as human beings and people, and not through trying to tell a story of how that community relates to a sort of larger political context.
Katie comes in trying to...
So once I sort of crack a character open, I'm really interested in the way that we use mostly the rhythm of language.
You can call me whatever you want as long as you call me a winner.
In my scripts, you'll see a lot of punctuation. There's a lot of commas and a lot of dashes, and I'll use what's called an active silence, where it's like you're not actually responding with words, but you're responding with a look, which we do all the time, right?
Practicing your religion.
And there is, of course, a lot of basketball that's played in the game, but that actually ends up being the sort of vehicle to deliver this emotional story about Katie and her mother, Suzanne.
You don't even know how wonderful my daughter is. I know how wonderful.
But you know, there's a scene where they finally talk about a very difficult conversation that happens, I think, with a lot of first-generation children, particularly first-generation Muslim children, who are dealing with a parent who grew up, like my parents did, in a Muslim-majority country, and say, like, I know that you want me to live the way that you lived, but I have a completely different experience having grown up in the West. The way I've continued to sort of move forward in my career as a theater artist is to just build authentic relationships.
We're gonna win, coach.
So, you know, when I teach, which I do often, I'll really try to instill this in my students, that it's like, build authentic relationships, spend a lot of time nurturing those relationships, and sometimes they'll bear fruit.